Sean here with BaseMint Comics. It's Wednesday, July 1st. First new comic book day Wednesday in July. That's pretty exciting. And this would normally be the part where I would cut to us biking up to the comic book shop. But we are trapped in a hellish heat wave where we were at 100 degrees today. Feels like even worse than that. And I don't have a problem biking in that type of weather, but I do have a problem dragging Henry along for it. And he wanted to go to the comic book shop, and there was stuff that we could do to make it still a fun day. So instead of the bike ride up to the shop, you're obviously seeing me back in the normal spot, which means that the room is back together and the new floor is in and all that stuff is over with. It was a lot. It was, if you watched the last thing where I ranted about the squirrels with the walnuts down the vent stack clogging one of the pipes, that was all sorted and had to tear out a wall in my office and you know, everything was out of here. And it was this beautiful, like 70-degree week where I could keep all of my stuff in the garage, safe up on pallets. And it like wasn't going to get affected by the temperature. And if all of this went according to plan, I was going to be able to move this stuff back over the weekend in 70-degree weather, and it was going to be great. So what happened was the first domino that fell was as we were putting all of the piping back together, I reached up and my hand just went through the sink pipe because it's so old. This house was built in the 50s. So the issue was fixed, but then another issue was created. So now I have to fix that. But there was no time to do that because the floor was getting put in. So then I was sold the floor under the guise that it would be a team of people showing up to knock this out on a Friday. And that turned into one guy showing up for 3 days. Now, he did a kick-ass job. Looks fantastic. It's wonderful. I mean, he knocked it out of the park. We had to level the floor. It was a whole thing. Then went to do the stairs and realized I can't do the stairs because the stairs are all different sizes. So the stairs are going to have to be carpeted. But before he was done, he got this half of the room done. And I was like, kick ass. Is there any chance, since this is kind of going over what the expected timetable was, and I was kind of hoping to use the weekend to be able to move this stuff back in, because I didn't want to have to, like, you know, would have been nice to do it over the weekend. Before the heat wave hit, while I was off from work, so on and so forth. And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Go right ahead. Move the stuff into this side because I'm done with this side. I'll finish that side. Then you can move everything else. And I was like, great. Told my wife, I was like, all right, I'm going to head downstairs. I'm going to start moving stuff. I moved one bookcase in and I hear her scream like I've never heard her scream before. This wasn't like a, holy shit, you have to come upstairs and kill a spider or something. This was a scream. She was making pasta and she dropped an entire pot of boiling water on her foot. So rushed her to the ER, spent the night in the ER as she was getting bandaged up. It's kind of suspect. I just get the A-OK from the floor guy to be able to move 72 friggin' long boxes back into the house, and she drops. I'm just saying, it was, timing is suspect. So, didn't move anything in that day, but that's okay, because we kind of talked about it, and we were like, as much as, it's fucking awful what happened. Foot's all tore up. Anyways. So, floor got finished. She's laid up. And so today, when I normally would have biked to the shop earlier in the morning, we had to go do a follow-up with Trauma Burn to take the bandages off, see how it's healing. Everything's going well. She's good. I joke about the not lifting long boxes thing, but I want everyone to know that, she's good. It's going to be a couple weeks, but she's good. So, then when we were doing all the piping stuff, the main water shutoffs don't work anymore. They're so old that they don't work anymore. So I have to like get my plumber dude out here and have the city shut the water off from the street and then replace the whole meter and all that stuff. So it's just like the floor is finished, room's back together, but there's still stuff that needs to get fixed. So anyways, so no bike ride today. But let's cut to, you get to watch 50 seconds of the process of seeing what the room looked like from before and through the tearing up, the moving everything out, tearing up the carpet, getting rid of all the tiles, leveling the floor, and putting down the leveling the thing, putting down the floor, and then moving everything back in. So let's 6 minutes. Nobody cares, but trust me, it looks good. Check it out. All right, so there's all that. So, obviously it looks great. I got the floor guy, the dude who initially sold me the floor was like, there is no way that you can get all this stuff out of here in a week. And I was like, I can do it in 24 hours. And so I got all this stuff moved out in that 24-hour time span and moved it all back in by myself. Yeah, so then today, obviously, my wife we took her to her follow-up appointment. All's good there, healing nicely. Just a scotch under 3rd degree, thankfully, so there was no like frying of the nerve endings, just a really painful burn. Sucks, don't drop boiling water on yourself, it's not good. And so then after that, I was like, well, we're not biking up to the shop. We should go to, it's the premiere of X-Men 97 Season 2. I'm super jazzed for it, obviously. And there is a restaurant called Dave's Hot Chicken that I've never been to. And they were doing a thing where they had like kids meals or whatever with, where they packaged them in these fun things. And I had Hank, I was like, buddy, you got to do this for your old man. You got to eat 4 of these things so we can get all of the little, there's a little Wolverine and a Storm, a Cyclops and a Jean. So, down there, which you can't see, but down there are the old, if you remember, Hardee's did a thing back in the 90s. And so there's like a Blob and a Storm and a Cyclops and a Crimson Commando. They packaged a Crimson Commando and I think Phantasm, which is a super obscure mutant liberation front character. So that was the payoff for not biking. I was like, oh, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna drive down to this restaurant and make the kid eat 40 chicken nuggies. I didn't actually force him to eat all of the food. All right, so listen, I have 100% been off my game. There's been no Corner Box Classics the last couple of weeks because I just haven't had time. It's been like my feet have hit the ground, and if I'm not working, I was working down here, tearing up the floor, getting all of it ready, and then putting everything back together and dealing with the other, no pun intended, fires that were unearthed while doing this, because that's how things go. Like, none of it's gonna go, It's home ownership. None of it's going to go smoothly. But at the end of the night, the one thing I had to look forward to every evening was an issue from John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhere. And obviously everybody, I'm sure, is familiar with the idea behind this. Byrne started doing this a page at a time on his website, Byrne Robotics, I think. I love John Byrne, but I am not, I think I've discussed this already, not a forum guy, and certainly was not a John Byrne forum guy. And plus, I don't like, I am a newsprint guy. I am not a let's sit and stare at a screen any longer than I have to. So the last thing I was going to do was read a comic book on a computer 1 page a day. So I was like, this is something that I'm either like, this is how I feel about like Marvel's digital comics. Like, if you want to package it up and put it out in print, I'll buy it. But if you're expecting me to go online and no. And it's the same thing. As much as I love John Byrne, I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna, no, that's not how you read a comic. All right, I gotta pedal somewhere. I gotta pick it up. I gotta slap some money down on the counter. They hand it to me. I get to keep it forever. I pedal back to my house. I read it. That's the transaction. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing digital. How's everybody's PlayStation movies going? I love John Byrne, and I love this. Do I think that this should have been in place of Claremont? Absolutely not. This was great. This was fun. I enjoyed reading it, and I'm telling you, there is a part of me that every night that I sat down to read this, it really, really shines a light on... I have a difficult time explaining some of my issues with modern comics, and I know a lot of it is the way that it's written for the trade, etc., etc. It doesn't really feel like every issue is as packed with as much as it probably should be, especially with the price tag that's attached to them. But every single issue of this was just like fun adventure, and it's like that sort of like, I think sometimes like, I love the movie Rocketeer, The Rocketeer. Love it. And sometimes that's just what I want. Like, I just want like this fun adventure, you know? And that's exactly what this delivered. It's not rewriting the rule book. There's nothing here that Byrne did that was any better than like, I mean, obviously like a stick with the Claremont stuff for actual continuity, but this was a blast. It was just a blast to see him write those characters, all of the characters interacting, the team, the time period. Art was great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to number 2 and number 3. There are choices in there that I'm like, this is weird. I don't know if I would have done that, but I'm not the one, you know, I'm just enjoying it. I enjoyed it. It was a nice little break. Like, I'm going to remember this process, as stressful as it was. Like, when I look back and I read this first volume of that, I'm going to be like, oh, I remember that this was my little oasis from this stuff that was... It was a hectic week. Hectic 2.5 weeks. And I'm really excited to get back into Cornerbox Classics. Books that I really liked from last week. Doom Quest. Not in continuity, but it's Ryan North, Doom, and Doom has been like... I mean, all you need to know is that Doom has created a time machine called the Doom Engine, and you're like, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is just fun. It's just fun. Doom is trapped in a time loop on the Titanic, trying to get out of it, because Richards has trapped him in this, like, loop of him being on the Titanic, and it's fantastic. It's a ton of fun. Book I was most excited for last week and was moderately let down by was X-Men Outback. Love the Russell Dauterman cover. Love this team. I think the art inside of it was great. It's a little more 90s than it was 80s, and I don't think anybody's going to sit back and like try to draw in an 80s style in a modern comic book, even though this book is set in the late 80s, early 90s. But this definitely has like a late 90s kind of Joe Madureira influence to the art. But the thing that sort of took me out of it is nothing against Steve Orlando. Met him at a con a few months back. Super nice guy. I just wish this was being written by Claremont. Like how he's able to do some of those Between the Raindrops miniseries. He's got a Gambit one coming out that I'm really excited about. He did a Wolverine one last year. I just sort of wish he was the one doing this. You know, it is what it is. The book that absolutely blew my socks off, this was fantastic and could be in the running for my favorite issue of the year. This was so good. Art was great, writing's great, and just this idea of, I mean, it's just, I don't even want to get it. Steve winds up being trapped in like Mephisto's realm with Doctor Doom, and they're like, it's so, this was great. This was great. It was great. Pick it up. Zdarsky's run on Captain America has been fantastic, but this for me has been the highlight. Fantastic cliffhanger on this as well. So that's last week's books. And what did I pick up today? Other than so many Dave's Hot Chicken kids meals. And I haven't watched X-Men 97 season 2 yet, because the kid doesn't, like when the first season came out, he napped. Because first episode of the first season, I was like me and the kid, cereal, the couch, we're doing this. And it was great. But then I think like the second or third, there was whatever the episode is where Storm, like it's life death. And I was just like, oh shit, okay, this isn't like, they definitely adulted like clearly, and I should have known, like they're aiming for me, and I'm 45, because I grew up with the cartoon. So of course they're not going to make it for kids, and particularly little kids. But I just wanted the moment. But I was quickly like, oh, we gotta Miss Rachel this up. So he will not be watching the X-Men go after Apocalypse. I'm pretty sure that would be dastardly. So when he is tucked in tonight, I'm coming down here in this glorious room, and I'm watching those first 3 episodes. No spoilers. Picked up Doctor Strange because I'm a glutton for punishment. Have not been enjoying that. But I'm also like, Marvel's in that we're only having books run until 10 issues thing that they're doing. I don't know if that's the case with this, but I'm already in, so I'm like, might as well just finish it. This is Batman 11. They're like one and dones. I don't have a huge, obviously I am not a DC reader, and this is the first time that I have ever subscribed to a Batman book. I like Matt Fraction's art. I like Jorge Jimenez's art. The issues have been good, but it's sort of one of those things where I kind of chuckle to myself, because anytime I read it, I don't have, like there's anyone with the last page reveal of this, if you have any dabbling in Captain America, are like, oh, okay, cool, I get that. But if there's any cool like reveals in this, it's lost on me, because I don't really read DC, but I have been enjoying that book. I picked up that when it comes to DC and the Fury of Firestorm, and I'm actually enjoying the Fury of Firestorm more, because I think that one's written a little bit more like an indie title. And kind of spells everything out for me like I'm a DC idiot, which I am. And so I imagine that I will not. I picked up a couple issues of Dan Slott's Superman last summer because I was really riding high from the movie, and so I just sort of feel like this is what this is too. Is there was a moment of like everybody was like, "Oh, it's pretty good," and I was like, "I'll check it out," but my guess is I probably won't stick with it. That's what tends to happen with those types of things. It's the same thing when I pick up like an indie book. Like I'll pick up an indie book, complete it. I read Bug Wars last year, and then just sort of sold it because I was like, I'm never going to go back and read this. What If Secret Wars? This is, I'm assuming, the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars. I think the Thor issue came out, but my shop hasn't gotten it, or it wasn't in my box. But I like the X-Men issue, but my only issue with that X-Men issue is I prefer what ifs when there's like, it's not, it seems like modern what ifs are like doom and gloom. Like what if everybody died and it was awful? And so I'm kind of hoping for like at least one happy what if. Ugh. Mortal Thor, loved the last issue. Really excited to read the next issue. I think the series has been. I'm like, it's fun. It's fun. That's me. I just think it's, I enjoy reading this comic, and I'm looking forward to it. This next one, I know when I was younger they were just pinups, and so I passed on the one they did of this last year until I stood at the rack and kind of flipped through it and realized that there was actually a story to it, and like probably not the greatest story ever, but it's still fun. There I go again. It was just it was a dopey fun thing, and I was like, yeah, I'll sign up more for that. And I did have to laugh because like there's quite a few pinups of like this is just an observation of the times we live in an interesting I just like they do a pinup in here of Storm, and I had to laugh because like what the old ones used to look like, and so there's like this Thor pinup in here, and then you flip the page and it's like a kid drew Storm. And I just thought that was really funny because all the dudes are drawn by like, Captain America's drawn by Valerie Sheedy, and and I just had to laugh because I was like, okay, they're definitely trying not to get canceled with this. There seems to be a beast story, so that's exciting. But yeah, just like that's like a dumb thing. I don't know. And I thought the last year's swimsuit one was fun, and the Christmas special that they did was fun. So I was like, yeah, I'll keep it up. I don't know anything about this, but I saw it in the previews, and I go through previews really quick. Like, I don't read the solicitations. I've been burned a couple times by not doing that, because I remember one was like I like ordered a book that was all of the free comic book day books put together, and I was like, son of a bitch. It's like $7.99, and I already have all of them because they were from free comic book day. But it's a Dr. Doom story written by Al Ewing, and it appears to be him going up against Mr. Fantastic. So, I mean, that's a pretty easy sell just based on the cover alone. Amazing Spider-Man. We are so close to 1,000. Really enjoyed the last issue. I sort of wanted more of the reveal of the family member and less of the Vulture Fight Club, but I'm actually pretty excited if this one delves more into the Vulture Fight Club, because I liked that part of it. I just really wanted lots of answers when it came to the Aunt May, Uncle Ben thing, and I think that Joe Kelly has done a good job of doing that without character assassination, because I was really nervous that it was going to be like Ben had an affair or May had an affair, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was not that, and so I was pretty jazzed about that. Last issue of Iron Man was my least favorite of the run so far, but the first 5 issues were fantastic. Probably one of my favorite books Marvel's putting out right now, and so I am kind of hoping that this gets back to the first 5 issues. But I am definitely jazzed to read that. And the final issue that I picked up, the book I'm most excited about, my favorite Marvel comic on the stands, is Fantastic Four. It has been, like, the whole Ryan North, like, it's just been so good. And I'm sure there are people out there that are like, I don't like it. But it's been, and I'm sure there's a point, it's weird, because it's like, it's not traditional Fantastic Four, but it is. it's such a weird, like, but in a good way. Like, it's really focused on the family, which I love, you know? I don't know. I've just really been digging that title, and I wish more people, I wish more people would be reading it, because I know that sometimes I go online, and it seems like everyone is like, Marvel sucks. And I really don't think that's the case. I just think, I don't know if it's like if it's groupthink. I don't know. I've never really been down with that, ever. So, you know, it is what it is. But Fantastic Four for me has been a blast. And I'm happy that the room is back in order. There's still a lot of stuff that needs to get done. But hey, at least all the stuff is safe back in there, and the problems that caused the issue in the first part have been addressed. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, and I get back on track with Corner Box Classics. So I should, barring any unexpected catastrophes, be able to finish those books off this week and get a Corner Box Classics up next weekend. And yeah, or this weekend. And so yeah, so that was this Wednesday, and you got a very tiny glimpse of the room. And I am looking forward to getting it all back together and doing a this is what the space is going to look like for a very long time room tour. So yeah, I hope everyone had a kick-ass Wednesday and got lots of comics that they're excited about. And I hope everybody enjoys X-Men 97 Season 2 if you are watching it. And yeah, I will see you this weekend with Corner Box Classics. So thanks for taking this ride with us.